The noise level, it's deafening already inside John Paul Jones Arena here at the campus, University of Virginia in Charlottesville. Let's take a look at our Food Lion starting lineups for Virginia Tech. They've been hot. They won 13 of 50, beat BC over the weekend. Keep an eye on Jeff Allen. He's the 6'7" junior out of Washington, D.C. Averages close to a double-double per game. And his opposite number, Mike Scott, the young man from Hargrave Military Academy at 6'8", averages better than 12 points and 8 boards. We take a look at Ron Thompson's keys to the game. Start with Seth Greenberg and Virginia Tech. Ron?
Well, they want to create a lot of their offense with their defense. They want to get out in the lanes, get some steals, play an ugly, rugged kind of a game. And then Virginia Tech, the key for them is half-court efficiency. Spread the floor, use their motion offense to get easy layups, a lot of curls to the basket, and some open looks.
As we told you, this atmosphere is phenomenal. Settle back, enjoy a night of ACC hoops as we'll take you to the hoop all night long right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Malcolm Delaney and Virginia Tech. That first look at the offensive end. Carl Hess, Gary Maxwell, Roger Ayers. The three assigned by the ACC tonight. Mike Scott got a piece of that Dorenzo Hudson jumper. This is Malcolm Delaney who got shut off. Bell got to the front of the iron, but it was in heavy traffic for Terrell Bell.
But you can see early on, especially in the first possession, that Virginia Tech feels they have the advantage inside. They tried to post Hudson, and that time Bell tried to get all the way to the basket. They're not going to settle for jump shots, at least early on.
Ron and I at both shoot-arounds today. That Sylvan Landisberg, that tough runner, was partially denied. As we said, Virginia Tech has been hot since they got beat by Temple in Philadelphia. They've been on a roll. This is Mike Scott, hard to the rack, and got it to drop off that Virginia pressure up top.
Exactly. Virginia hasn't been given enough credit for their half-court defense. They're very good, solid man-to-man defense. They don't gamble. They take advantage of your mistakes.
Ron, you speak of Virginia defense. They only allow 60 points per game, top 10 in the nation.
Exactly. That's why they've gotten out to the start that they have. As you see, Landisberg picks his pocket, goes down the other end for the easy layup. Thought that time, though, that Allen could have spent more energy trying to get back to stop that layup.
Ron, how important is it for Seth Greenberg and Virginia Tech get off to a quick start, maybe to get this crowd tempered a little bit?
Well, because they're so crazy in here tonight, you want to get out to an early pace, quiet them down, but you do that with solid defense and taking care of the ball on the offensive end.
And Mike Scott off that missed jumper. Jeff Allen pulled down the Virginia Tech board. Now Allen is going to hoist from three, halfway in the cup and rattled out. Jontel Evans, a young man from Hampton, 5'11" freshman. Tremendous running back in high school.
This is his first year where he hasn't played football at all. He's just concentrating on basketball, and his defensive intensity is what has put him in the starting lineup.
Mike Scott couldn't finish after Scott got that run out to go down. He's missed a couple of opportunities. Just underway. Great to have you with us tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. Look at the left hand from Victor Davila, the 6'8" sophomore from Puerto Rico. Nice drop step and finish.
Yes, he was, and that was not an accident. He has that in his arsenal. Used his left hand to finish around the basket. He has that jump hook. He struggles at times to score against taller guys, but he shouldn't have that trouble tonight if he brings his energy and his effort and gives second effort to going towards the basket.
Ron, he's one of the guts guys, the glue guys for Seth Greenberg.
And you need those guys, especially when you have guys like a Delaney and an Allen that are going to get a lot of the attention.
On the offensive glass again, that's Mike Scott. Scott cleaned up the loose change. Big hit from Jontel Evans on Malcolm Delaney, and that'll be Jontel Evans on the personal foul. Mike Scott's been very active, Ron.
He really has, and that's what he can bring to this club. Do the little things, clean up all the loose ends around the basket, spend the energy and effort on that side of the floor as opposed to looking and hunting for shots.
A couple of buckets and 3 quick rebounds for Mike Scott, who comes in tonight averaging almost 13 points, better than 7 boards per game, and shooting 55% from the floor. This is Jeff Allen. Slashed his way to the goal, but didn't finish.
That's okay. That was a motion towards the basket. Jeff Allen is a matchup problem for a lot of people because he's quicker than a lot of 4s and 5s, and he's more powerful than a smaller 3-man. So if he takes his time and uses good judgment, he's a matchup problem all night long.
Terrell Bell starting on Sylvan Landisberg with that straight-up man defensive assignment.
Take him.
Virginia Tech. Jerome Mienzi. That's sweet. Jump hook that's right there.
I got a little excited and said, take him. You get the ball 1 foot in the lane, you don't have to have a lot of moves, and you're that tall. He has a good, nice, soft touch around the basket. Go up. Those are the coach shots that your coach wants you to take.
That's all right, Coach Thompson. Appreciate the encouragement at the offensive end.
I had a flashback. As you see right here, 1 foot in the lane. Don't hesitate. Just go right up, soft jump hook. See, if guys realize, especially in the post, you don't have to be, Patrick Ewing or Alonzo Mourning and have tons of offensive moves. If you have one go-to move, that's all you need. But master that one go-to move.
Sure, better do it. All right, off the Malcolm Delaney missed triple try. Semi Zaglinski to the offensive end. Mike Scott. That's a veteran offensive move, Ron.
No
Sets contact and traffic. Going to go to the free throw line.
Mike's been around the block a time or two. He's from this Virginia area. Went to Hargrave Military. His coach is in here tonight. But he's a guy that's savvy, understands the whys. He doesn't just know how to do certain things. Got him up in the air. Now he's at the line.
Healthy again, and that's a good thing for Tony Bennett. He missed 3 games right around the holidays with an ankle injury. But, Ron, you and I were noticing at shoot-around today, Mike Scott got after it in the offseason. Looks like he's added about 10 pounds in the upper body. Much stronger and maybe ability to take that contact now around the hoop.
Exactly, and that's what UVA needs. They need him to get those garbage baskets right around the basket, to be able to finish, to be a solid presence inside, especially defensively when you go up against the likes of Carolina.
All right, off a couple of Mike Scott free throw hits. UVA on top by 6. John Paul Jones Arena absolutely pulsates tonight here in Charlottesville. Virginia Tech just 1 of 6 from the floor, having a hard time getting into the offense. Dorenzo Hudson, a little bit too firm. Jeff Allen.
That's where Jeff's so tough. Fought his way, clawed, got on the inside, had to tip in, didn't come down with it, kept it high, and finished with the easy deuce.
Jeff Allen on the offensive glass. That's his 4th board in the early going. So Jeff Allen and Mike Scott, we highlighted them in our Food Line starting lineups tonight, and they both have been right on time. Semi Zaglinski thought about it. I'll tell you a lot about Semi Zaglinski and Sylvan Landesberg tonight. These sophomores have been so impactful. Shot clock at 8. Scott got swallowed up by Jeff Allen. Scott got it back. A little bit too strong off the window. Well, we are 5 minutes into it. Virginia Tech laboring a little bit at the offensive end. Hokies just 2 of 8 from the floor. But on a roll, and gained a lot of impetus from that 1-point win down the stretch in Castle Coliseum over Boston College over the weekend. John Tell Evans just ripped Malcolm Delaney. Evans to the bucket. Delaney aboard, and he got fouled by Semi Zaglinski. Fast-paced in the first 5 minutes and some change. Mike Scott off to a strong start for UVA. Who's leading also by Subway. Eat fresh. That, some of the lineage of the University of Virginia basketball. I got chills today looking over at University Hall. Got me thinking about Ralph Sampson and Othell Wilson and Ricky Stokes and the guys for the Tony Bennett. And why not come for the Pac-10 at Washington State, where he was the Pac-10 Coach of the Year, to come to this hallowed basketball program, Ron, here in Virginia.
You know, when he was hired, a lot of people were saying, this is a West Coast guy. He's coming to the East Coast. Can he get it done? Coaching is coaching. West Coast, East Coast, down south, whatever it is. And if you can recruit, you can recruit, because that's all about relationships, getting out on the recruiting trail, establishing yourself.
There's some of that defense that Tony Bennett has brought to this ball club. All right, 3 years at Washington State. And remember, Tony played for his dad, the legendary Dick Bennett.
Love that.
I bet you would. I bet you'd find something.
There's something about coaches' sons.
Coaches' kids.
They just have it. They just have it.
Yeah. Shocking that you'd feel that way. Yeah. His father, Dick Bennett, of course, who preceded him then at Washington State, and then Tony took over. Sylvan Landesberg to splash that 3 in front of Seth Greenberg on that Virginia Tech bench.
Sylvan's known as more of a slasher, 1-2 dribble, pull-up kind of guy, but when he has his feet set, when they're set, he can knock those 3s down all night long.
Well, this crowd on fire as the lead now balloons to 4. And again, Virginia Tech has won 13 of their last 15, playing excellent basketball. That's ripped away by Will Sherrill. And now on that run out to the rim, Sylvan Landisberg wound up on the deck, and that Virginia Tech foul is going to go on Terrell Bell. It appeared on an inadvertent trip.
Good solid defense on the interior. Gets out on the break hard, but he got tripped right there from the end from behind by Bell. Inadvertent. He didn't mean that one.
That's the 5th time Virginia Tech has turned it over, and there's another part of Virginia's game defensively. The forced turnovers way up, and the value of the basketball on the offensive end has been tremendous. Jerome Mienzi is going to get to the free throw line. Ron, aggressively, the bigs, Mienzi and Scott, they have seemed to come tonight with a hard hat, lunch pail attitude.
And that's what they have to do. If they can do that consistently all year, good things are going to happen. You see the big fella gets it on the block. He's not hesitating, making a strong power move. Like I said, when you're in the post, you don't have to have an array of moves. Just have 1 or 2 solid moves that you know you can go to, because there are not a lot of good post defenders. So you're either going to score or you're going to get fouled and go to the free throw line. This time he got fouled. This is the area, though, that he has to improve on. He gets to the foul line a lot throughout the course of the year because he is so strong and around the basket, but he's got to be able to finish these free throws to take advantage of getting fouled. But he's shooting them at a high clip. He's shooting 71%. He's just got to knock them down.
So a good look at 6'9" Jerome Mienzi, the young man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Splits the pair at the line. Virginia's lead at 8, its largest here. And you take a look at Virginia Tech, as we said, just 2 of 8 struggling. That's Dorenzo Hudson, way too firm. Sammy Zaglinski. Oh, has Zaglinski been a tremendous linchpin this year? The 6-foot sophomore out of Philadelphia for Tony Bennett.
Well, what they've done is they've started the game with moving Zaglinski off the ball a little bit. You know, when he doesn't have to make so many decisions, they can just concentrate on scoring and setting guys up from the 2-guard spot. He's been very good.
And what you just saw there is something that Sammy Zaglinski does better than anybody in the ACC. Knockdown threes off the miss there. Landisberg and Zaglinski both had good looks from beyond the arc. And the basketball belongs to the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Crowd doesn't think so. They don't believe it. Now Virginia Tech coming to the offensive end with just a couple of field goal makes in the first 7.5 minutes of this one. To that end, J.T. Thompson, the igniter, the 6th man on the floor now. Can Vatek get Malcolm Delaney going? Well, Delaney fumbling the basketball to the hoop. There's numbers for Virginia. However, turning it over was Virginia's Mustafa Farrakhan, the 6'4" junior. Rapid pace here in the first 8 minutes plus. Tony Bennett, Virginia holding an 8-point lead. Come on back.
0 due at signing and no first month's payment.
I also understand how important it is for our program and for Virginia Tech and for our alumni and for our people that this game is a game that you've got to go out and you've got to find a way to be successful.
Seth Greenberg says you got to be successful in terms of the entire scope of basketball here in Virginia. And he's been hot, but Ron, he wanted to change some things up this year. Put a greater emphasis on the defensive end of the floor.
Exactly, and I think they did that because as a coach, you know your team better than anyone. You know what you have and what you don't have. And he saw they don't have a lot of size. For this team to have success, they have to grind it out on defense. And that's why they're struggling thus far, because they haven't generated a lot of steals, and they have 5 turnovers. Taking care of the ball and getting steals has been their mantra all year, and they just haven't done a good job at it thus far.
Right on the floor now for Virginia Tech. Got Eric Green in. That deep 3 from the baseline from J.T. Thompson wouldn't go.
And you see early on, there have been 13 possessions so far in the game for Virginia Tech, and they've only converted on 2 of them. And that's because they haven't gotten a lot of steals. They haven't gotten out in the passing lanes. They've struggled at times with running their half-court offense, and they get themselves going in transition. They haven't been able to push the tempo yet.
Mustafa Farrakhan missed that rainbow jumper. So on the floor now is Eric Green for Virginia Tech with Dorenzo Hudson, along with J.T. Thompson, Victor Davila, and Malcolm Delaney. Seth Greenberg's looking for offense right now.
Yes, he is. Any way he can get it.
That's one way. Malcolm Delaney, big step baseline and finished off glass.
Right on cue, right on cue. He's been banged up, bruised. He's the go-to guy for Virginia Tech, so he's garnered a lot of attention from the opponent's defense, and he's making that adjustment to being the guy every single night.
Around almost 10 minutes in as Sylvan Landisberg attacks the bucket. Yep, count that.
See, that's what makes him tough. He can put the ball on the deck and get anywhere he needs to get to on the floor, and then if you back off of him, he's a solid enough jump shot to knock that down. As you hear, he's isolated at the top of the key, gives a little hesitation, jerky move, drives, and finishes with his offhand.
The young man from Flushing, huh?
Takes the hit, can finish. He just knows how to score the basketball, and that's a knack. You have to. Some guys just have a feel for how to get buckets, and he has it.
He's got 5, not able to cap off the three-point opportunity. The speed of Malcolm Delaney. He just got engulfed, though, down around the rim. Virginia playing outstanding defense in the paint around the hoop. And that foul is going to go on Will Sherrill of Virginia on the push.
See, the different styles of defense. You know, some people pick up full, some people only play at half court. Some guys extend out on the wings, some guys play solid three-point line and in. Virginia plays solidly three-point line and in. They give excellent weak side help, and they try to make it as congested as possible inside that three-point line.
Jontel Evans checks back in. Sylvan Landisberg hears about it from this crowd. Off to a solid start. Ron, how would you depict the flow of this one in the first close to 10 minutes of this opening half?
Well, it's been good. I think it's at UVA's pace. They've done a good job of getting stops in the half court. They've been efficient for the most part, full court, as Delaney gets free on the baseline. But as the game progresses, we'll see. Early on, you know, your emotions are going, your energy's up. We'll see as we close out the first half and start the second half how the flow of the game is going to see who has the edge.
Real nice look from Terrell Bell that found Malcolm Delaney. Ron and I talked about that with Seth Greenberg today, how ways to get creative as Jeff Jones missed that jumper wide left. Look at Will Sherrill on that save, battling for the basketball.
You see why
Terrell Bell foul.
You see why Sherrill has earned a spot on this ball club. He's a walk-on. He's not on scholarship, but he's a guy that's just worked his way into this rotation.
Funny, too. Good buddy of mine, Gary Waters, who coaches at Cleveland State, said, Reggie, you going to see Will Sherrill. He lit us up for 18 points in Cancun.
And he's not even on scholarship.
He's not on scholarship. I said, Coach Waters, he said, tell Coach Bennett to put him on scholarship. He's going to get 18 against me. Mike Scott's on scholarship, and he knows how to get to the rack.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Both of the post guys on both of these teams, Mike Scott as well as Allen, are very mobile, agile bigs. They aren't plotters and just guys that just dig their feet in that don't have any agility. Good ball movement, gets it to Scott at the elbow. One time on the board, finish strong.
Mike Scott, terrific start. 8 points, 5 boards. As we said, averages almost 13 points, 7 rebounds. Shoots it at 55%. And he has been the bellwether for Tony Bennett in giving Virginia this 8-point advantage. We're delighted you're a part of it inside the electric atmosphere of John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville. Night of ACC hoops for you on Comcast Sportsnet with Ron Thompson and all of our terrific crew. I'm Michael Reggie. Settle back and love this one, as only ACC hoops can provide. Shot clock inside 10. Delaney being checked by Jontel Evans. Malcolm Delaney off the force that never got to the rim.
They're making every single look he gets contested, difficult. They're putting a body on him.
Jones had a real good look at 3, but Jeff Jones could not get it to drop. Again, Eric Green handling some of the offense initiation. Allen off the spin. That wouldn't go down. Virginia Tech just having a very difficult time, Ron, to try to get anything they like at the offensive end.
And I really feel the reason they're having their most difficulty is because they're not turning UVA over on the defensive end. They've struggled all year for the most part at executing there in the half court. And when Allen doesn't have it going, as you see there, he struggled, as you saw good defense by Sherrill. When he doesn't have it going, especially in the half court, it makes it that much more difficult for the Hokies.
Well, you see the look of angst on Seth Greenberg's face to document that. Marty Aronoff, we're so delighted to have Marty with us tonight, the best of the business. Our man courtside said Virginia Tech is 4-16, and they've turned it over 5 times. That'll document the problems at the offensive end. Basketball by Lewis Witcher slapped away. So Witcher, the 6'9" senior, on the floor. Yeah, there's Virginia Tech, Ron. I mean, come on now. In the ACC, the best at less than 60 points per game. This is Will Sherrill. Mike Scott on a post-up. The rip away, though, from Virginia Tech's Ben Boggs, the true freshman. Make it turnover number 6 on Virginia Tech. All right, we've got a timeout. Seth Greenberg going to try to find some things he likes to go to work on offensively. Virginia has doubled up the Hokies, leading by 8.
Knicks, Wizards, catch all the action Saturday on Comcast Sportsnet.
Go! It's been a very much of a infested first half here. Mike Scott's been sensational both ends.
Well, he's done a little bit of everything. He's done it on the defensive end. He's been able to finish around the basket. They run some isolations for him. He's been able to drive from the top and from the perimeter because of his mobility at his size. Right now, UVA, they only have 16 points. He's got 8 of those points, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal. He's been effective all over the court tonight.
And to show you the way both defenses are getting up and into shooters, neither ball club are burning it up at the offensive end. Virginia just 6 of 18 for 33%, while Virginia Tech, as we said, 4 of 16, really struck. When shot clock at 8, Scott barges his way to the bucket. How did it go down? Did he even see the rim?
When you're hot, you're hot. It doesn't matter.
Now, Mike Scott was being smothered by both Lewis Witcher and also Jeff Allen, and somehow ad-libbed that, got it to drop. The lead is at 10, the largest of the night for Virginia. They needed that from Dorenzo Hudson. Hey, Hudson's been on fire late, Ron.
Exactly.
Averaging 18 a game in the last 4.
He really has. He's been that added boost when a lot of the attention has gone to Malcolm Delaney. He's been a pleasant surprise. He's working his tail off all summer. He's stayed down on campus and just tried to improve his game. And the staff is really pleased that he's playing well because he's put in the most work.
Sylvan Landisberg trying to recover that missed 3 of his, and the basketball belongs to Virginia. Ron, the 50-50 balls, as a coach, how much of an issue and how imperative did you make that with your ball clubs?
It's vital because that establishes turf. That's one of those things that it's just blue collar, it's effort. You have it, I have it, I'm coming up with it. It's one of those areas that it gives you not just a psychological edge, but a physical edge to the game because you're letting your opponent know that, look here, baby, I'm out working you all night long.
Around in football, though, we use the expression a lot, imposing one's will.
Right.
And 50-50 balls on the hardwood, I mean, that's the way for a road ball club to come in here and take a little bit of that presence away, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's where Virginia Tech has to win the ball game. They have to win the game on all the 50-50 balls, all the loose balls that are out there on the floor. When I coached and when I played, there was a rule. My college coach, which happened to be my dad, used to say, just get a fingertip on it and we'll run it down. We'll get it because we believe that we would get all the 50-50 balls.
There you go, and that is imposing will on the basketball floor. Landisberg to raise up, ring it up.
You gotta
knock
like
down
him.
that jumper.
You gotta like him. He's one of those guys. He doesn't try to prove to you, especially offensively, what he can't do. He knows what he can do, and he does it well. Allen has to be careful. Stuck out his shoulder there just a little bit and got caught.
Sylvan Landisberg took that big right shoulder from the 6'7", 240-pound Jeff Allen. Watch the silky smooth release here of Sylvan Landisberg.
Right here, you see Allen comes over to set a screen, moves into it. Excellent call. You got to come to a stop. You can't be moving to the left. You can't move to the right. You have to be stationary.
We come inside the 6-minute mark. The Virginia lead is 10. Mike Scott gave it up. Jontel Evans. Nope. Landisberg had an offensive board. Delaney on the rip. There's numbers, Virginia Tech. Malcolm Delaney couldn't drop the three. Triggered that with numbers.
It was. That's the situation where Virginia Tech has to be able to convert.
Basketball wound up in Mike Scott's head. He said, I might as well drop it in the cup.
Well, that was a 50-50 ball. There was a loose ball. Virginia Tech didn't run it down. This place is going absolutely wild. Mike, I can barely hear you.
It is deafening as you look around John Paul Jones Arena. Mike Scott on fire, the 6'8" junior out of Chesapeake here in the Commonwealth. Ron, let's go back. Delaney, Seth Greenberg doesn't mind that, though.
He doesn't mind it, but if you're not going well and you're on the road, you mind it. And as you see, he took a quick three, didn't convert it. Virginia pushes it down court, drives, ends up with an easy basket underneath their basket. Virginia Tech has to do a much better job at scrambling and humping it on the defensive end. But if you're Virginia Tech, in that timeout right there, Seth Greenberg is saying, settle down. Fellas, we're only down 12. We're on the road at the half court. If we don't have a clear-cut layup, let's run offense. Let's set our solid screens. Let's go over everything that we went over in the scouting report.
Here's a good look at one of the best in the business, his 7th season in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech. Seth Greenberg, as always, charmed Ron Thompson and yours truly today. Didn't he shoot around?
He's one of the best.
He's fabulous.
Can you imagine him in the home on a recruiting visit?
Oh, yes, I can. And he likes what he sees of Eric Green, as Green just dialed long distance for three.
Green's one of those guys that they think is going to be the future of this program at the point guard position.
Jerome Mienzi back on the floor for Tony Bennett and Virginia. He just set an illegal screen, and he'll get hit with a personal foul.
As you see right here on the right side of your screen, you see him coming down. Woods gave it to him a little too aggressive. Malcolm Delaney may want to get an acting award for it, but
we showed you, and maybe we can get back to it later on during the course of the night. Malcolm Delaney took a couple of wicked shots the other night in the home win at Castle Coliseum against Boston College. Big win for Virginia Tech. Look at the tenacity of the Virginia defense. Closeouts. That'll be a push that's going to go on Sylvan Landisberg. And that is going to be 2 on Landisberg, a team foul number 6 on Virginia. So the next one on the Who's will get Seth Greenberg and Virginia Tech into the 1 and bonus.
See, if you're struggling in your half-court offense, these are situations where you want to try to execute. Try to generate some points out of your out-of-bounds plays. Try to generate some points out of steals. If your half-court offense isn't going great, try to find other ways to score.
Well, J.T. Thompson barged his way into that jump hook, but it wouldn't drop.
But I like that possession. The action was going towards the basket. J.T. Thompson had a little 10-footer. He missed. But then after that, help me. Give me an assist, baby. Davila went to the boards and got the offensive rebound.
Victor Davila from Puerto Rico. Malcolm Delaney into that sweet stroking that baseline jumper.
You're not going to keep Delaney down. He's one of those guys, if he misses 3 in a row, he's one of those guys that thinks something's wrong with the rim, not him. He's going to keep coming at you until he finally gets in a groove.
Good shooters and scorers never keep that trigger finger down too long. Now Delaney on the rip away. Malcolm Delaney's got the easy deuce. And here comes Virginia Tech.
Do you think they listened to Seth during that last timeout?
I'd say.
Tighten up things defensively, fellas, and next thing you know, they're back in the game, down 5.
7-0 run, says Marty Aronoff for Virginia Tech. They're back to within 5. They were down by a dozen a moment ago. We're inside 3.5 minutes left. Jontel Evans will slash. Well, he got met with tremendous resistance defensively. Run out. Dorenzo Hudson off a beautiful Eric Green. Bounce look to send Hudson to the rim.
Now that's Virginia Tech basketball. Causing turnovers, getting out in transition, converting your layups. The defensive intensity by Virginia Tech has been ramped up just a notch.
How about a 9-0 run for Seth Greenberg's ball club in less than 2 minutes of playing time?
As you see, they get the good stop. They get an off the defensive rebound. They're blowing out. The lanes are running hard, getting easy layups, scoring in transition, pushing the ball hard. The point guard, Eric Green, his head is up, finding his wings, running down the lane. That timeout, if you're UVA, Tony Bennett's telling them, fellas, slow down a little bit. We don't want to play at their pace. We want to be sure with the ball. In our half-court set, let's run our motion offense. Let's try to make 5-6 passes if we have to and catch them in a breakdown situation and try to get some easy looks.
See Seth Greenberg working at Waters ball club on a 9-0 run. We told you charmed us today. We're talking about his beautiful 83-year-old mom, Marilyn Fleming, who still is going at it every day in Midtown Manhattan as one of the real estate moguls in the city.
At 83, he says she catches the subway to work every day.
Phenomenal. I could just see her as Mike Scott. He's caught a lot of offensive proficiency tonight. Scott's got 14 as that jump hook went down, and it ends the run for Virginia Tech.
Well, see, Scott and Jeff Allen went to the same high school. They went to Hargrave Military, so he's really amped up to see who has the edge in this game tonight.
Now Malcolm Delaney, that was a tough jumper as Sammy Zaglinski got up into him defensively.
Malcolm's had a lot of different looks on him tonight.
Mike Scott has been absolutely sizzling tonight in the first half. I think they want to get him the rock. Zaglinski from deep. Nope, he's 0 for 2 from the land to 3. Basketball loose on the deck. J.T. Thompson and Malcolm Delaney came away with it. Thompson will cross over.
Nice
Got
move.
it to drop.
Big time move. Had a mismatch on the wing. 1-2 put on the deck. Didn't settle for the jump shot. Strong to the basket.
Now we've started to pick it up offensively, especially on the end of the Hokies of Virginia Tech, who are back to within 3 at 24-21 inside the 2-minute mark. Mustafa Farrakhan got shut off. Jeff Jones is going to go to the free throw line. Virginia has attacked the rim pretty much from the time the basketball went in the air to start the proceedings tonight. Virginia Tech a moment ago on a 9-0 run. J.T. Thompson, who provides energy off the bench. Virginia by 3.
To win a free golf vacation in Myrtle Beach.
Virginia's lead is 3 inside the 2-minute mark. Well, how does Virginia Tech basketball sustain itself? Up your Malcolm Delaney. Simple. About energy and effort for Seth Greenberg.
We beat teams off of effort, not just off of talent, and that's what Coach emphasizes. We play harder than everybody. We try to emphasize defense and do all the small things that most talented guys won't do, and I think that's how we so successful in the ACC.
Well, for them to have success, this young man is going to have to stay healthy and stay on the floor. As you see, he receives a hard blow to the shoulder right there. At the end of the month of December, he had a very severe ankle injury. He's getting banged around. He's getting hit. He's giving up his body. But an old wise man once told me, if you want to have a shot at the next level and you're a small guard, you can't afford to get hurt.
An old wise man. Red Auerbach?
A little younger.
A little younger.
This guy coached Allen Iverson in college.
John Thompson.
He told Allen, he said, son, you're too small, you're too frail. When you get hit, get up if you think you want to be a pro, because if you don't, they'll think you're soft. And Delaney has a very slight build, and that's why early on, Seth was like, his leg is going to have to be falling off for him not to show up and play. And he's one of those tough guys out of Baltimore that can flat out get it done.
Towson Catholic.
Baltimore
program. Absolutely. Hey, look, to me, the city of Baltimore is one of the finest high school basketball cities in the country. As Victor Davila got that jump hook to drop, here comes Virginia Tech back to within a deuce.
If Victor can be solid down there and give you 2 or 3 baskets like that every single night, and then the rest of your points come with energy and effort, huge plus for Virginia Tech.
And by the way, you know why I mentioned the late, great Red Auerbach? Your father's pretty familiar with him, yes? Mike Scott came out of a crowd, couldn't deliver that after Mustafa Farrakhan had it jostled away. Dorenzo Hudson, bang! He's tripled, and Virginia Tech is on top. They're on a 16-3 run.
Talk about a momentum swing, and they've done it on the defensive end, getting the ball to their key guys on the offensive end.
16-3 Virginia Tech run. They trailed it 22-12. And about a 16-second differential game clock and shot clock. That's Mike Scott.
He settled. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have settled for that jump shot. Had a smaller defender on him, back him up and get the easy two.
Hudson got it. Dorenzo Hudson in Virginia Tech is scorching.
Has Dorenzo been on an absolute tear in his last few games or what?
Averaging 18 a game in his last 4, shooting almost 60%. He's got 10. 3 seconds left. Farrakhan to the hoop.
With the right.
Got the reverse to go. At the buzzer, Mustafa Farrakhan used that rim as protection. It got it to fall. What an amazing first 20 minutes as Virginia Tech finishes the first half on an 18-5 run. To come back and take their first lead in the game late. That 18-5 run has got Virginia Tech on top, 28-27. We're going to send it to Chick Hernandez now in the studios of Comcast Sportsnet. Chick. This crowd inside John Paul Jones Arena was absolutely on fire early on, and that run for Virginia Tech got them settled down a little bit. As you take a look at our leading scores tonight, Dorenzo Hudson with the 9 and Malcolm Delaney with the 8. And, of course, Mike Scott with the 14. What will the second 20 minutes bring? Find out. Settle back and enjoy it with us. ACC Hoops on Comcast Sportsnet. Virginia Tech to the offensive end. Dorenzo Hudson glides to the bucket. That's an offensive foul on Hudson. Taking contact was Jerome Mienci for Virginia.
Excellent rotation that time by Mienci. Slid over, stood his ground. Big fella moved the puppies, got over there, took it in the chest.
Second personal foul for Dorenzo Hudson. Well, Hudson has teamed with Malcolm Delaney to really give Virginia Tech this burst offensively here. As the Hokies have won 13 of the last 15, Jontel Evans turned it over. And then, Ron, he exacerbated the problem by fouling Jeff Allen.
Well, not a bad foul because, one, he's not in foul trouble. And if Jeff had gotten that ball, it was off to the races. And you don't want Virginia Tech to start this half feeling too good about themselves because they closed the game so well in the first half.
Virginia Tech, as you know, since the ACC expanded back in the 04-05 season, of course, that included Virginia Tech and Miami and then Boston College. Virginia Tech with the 4th highest win percentage under Seth Greenberg's tutelage, and Hokies will turn it over.
Well, that time, I thought that Victor tried to go a little too soon. He's one of those guys, if you give him the ball in the post late in the clock, then you let him go to work, but not the first pass in this early in the second half do you want him hunting for a shot that early.
Sammy Zaglinski has been locked up tonight. Averages almost 11 a game and the top 3-point shooter in the ACC. That would have counted had it gone for Mike Scott. Oh, no, let me take that back. They got Mike Scott on an offensive foul. The player control foul against Scott.
Watch Allen. He rotates, cuts off the baseline. He takes it in the chest as well. His scoring is down, but he's doing other things. He's added to his game. He's putting more emphasis on the defensive end. He's getting on the boards as usual. He's still contributing to this game, even though he hasn't produced a lot offensively in terms of scoring.
That's number 2 on Mike Scott. So Terrell Bell with Dorenzo Hudson, Malcolm Delaney, Jeff Allen, and Victor Davila. Allen had it slapped away. Tony Bennett, same 5 that started it. Sammy Zaglinski and Sylvan Landisberg with Jontel Evans, Jerome Mienci, and Mike Scott. Working down off the left block. Dorenzo Hudson got it to drop.
They started the game with the same play. They tried to get Hudson posted there on the block on Zaglinski, and that time they went back to the same play, and then he converted.
Dorenzo Hudson, you mentioned averaging 18 a game in the last 4. He lit up Seton Hall for 41. in Cancun. Sylvan Landisberg couldn't triple. His crowd thought Landisberg got hit. Delaney to the pull-up. Bang!
Is Delaney good or what? That shot he hit is not an easy shot. To come full speed and pull up for a 5-foot jump shot.
The biggest lead of the night for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. They're up 5. See what Virginia gets at the offensive end. Shot clock will come inside 10 as Sammy Zaglinski and Sylvan Landisberg got to come to work. Shot clock at 4. Landisberg will drop that long-range 3 with a shot clock winding down.
When you're struggling, give it to your go-to guy and let him go to work.
He's got 10 now to Sylvan Landisberg. He's connected at his second 3. The 6'6" dazzling sophomore from Flushing, New York. This crowd has certainly got into it in a vociferous manner with a couple of whistles that have gone against Virginia to open the second half.
In a vociferous manner. I like that one.
Yeah.
You see right here, Malcolm comes full speed, pulls up for the nice, easy jump shot. That's a very tough shot in basketball to make, but he has no problem doing it.
Dorenzo Hudson had to pick up the dribble that time. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be ACC magnificent right down the stretch. You can see it coming. Davila turned it over. Mike Scott came up with a loose basketball.
That time I thought Davila has to give a better effort at trying to receive that ball. You got a guard trying to get you the ball in the post. You got to make a better effort to catch it.
On the floor now is Jeff Jones for Tony Bennett and the Cavaliers of Virginia. Landisberg off the bounce. Sylvan Landisberg. How creative is it? Tough look off glass.
Well, he's so tough. He's such a tough guard because he can hit the jump shot, but he's very good at putting it on the deck and getting to his spots on the floor, and they cut him off, and he spun back and still hit it.
Jeff Allen off a quick trigger. Scott on a leak out. Zaglinski at his pocket pick by Jeff Allen. Turnover, Virginia. Delaney on a show and go. Mietzi said, no, you won't. But we've got a whistle before it on the Sammy Zaglinski Virginia foul. Catch your breath, everybody. We're inside the 16-minute mark. All even at 32 apiece in Charlottesville.
I think he's a pro.
All even at 32 apiece. They love it here at John Paul Jones. They really love the energy and enthusiasm. Let's take a look at one of the ones they love. Sylvan Landisberg, the sophomore from Long Island.
Well, you got to love him because right there, the clock's winding down. He can get his own shot. And then right there, he drives to the basket. He gets cut off, but has the wherewithal to come back to his counter. He's just a scoring machine. He's one of those guys that if the clock is winding down, if your offense isn't going well, give him the ball, get out of his way, and let him work.
Ron Thompson, because of those attributes you mentioned, you would think just a sophomore, 6'6", that's a perfect type of game of creativity made for the NBA.
Well, I think he has NBA potential, and I think that's the key word. What he has to do, I think he has to physically get a little bit stronger, and I think that defensively he has to spend slightly more effort and more energy on that side of the court. But offensively right now, he's headed in that direction.
Tony Bennett won't like that. Out of the inbound, Jeff Allen got the easy deuce as he snuck inside the interior of that Virginia defense. Virginia Tech by 2, and if you just joined us, as you take a look at the other one in the ACC tonight, in Atlanta, the Jackets of Georgia Tech got topped by 4 for Wake Forest in that battle this evening. Shot clock at 5. Mike Scott got to the hole and finished with strength.
You know what was good about that? Is he didn't make it complicated. He made up his mind and went that way. As I said earlier, there are not a lot of good post defenders in college anymore. If no double team comes and he catches it that close, just go.
Now you want him to go to it.
Exactly.
Mike Scott was 16, leading everybody. This is Jeff Allen off the spin.
Ooh.
Excellent up and under, but then they kind of lost the basketball on his way on elevation.
A little too much high in 57. You know, he had him on the spin. He should have gone up. He tried to add the step 2 with the spin. Right here, good move, go right up strong, but he added the extra little finger roll at the end, and I don't think he really needed it.
Love the description. I know what your favorite steak garnishment is now, my man. You get a lot of good steaks here in Charlottesville, by the way.
Really? I bet you can.
Yes, we can. Zaglinski to triple. He's going to shoot it 3 times. He got clipped by Malcolm Delaney. And that young man you're looking at is the #1 3-point bomber in the ACC at almost 57%.
That's why Malcolm had to close out so hard, because he knew it was, he's shooting almost 50% from the 3-point line. But he gave him a little head and shoulder fake, baited him into the foul. Now he's at the free throw line with a chance to make 3.
And that is the first mark in the book point-wise for Sammy Zaglinski tonight. Couple of assists, couple of turnovers. But this young man has, along with Sylvan Landisberg, brought a tremendous vibe to this backcourt here. And for Tony Bennett, of course, one of the premier backcourt talents in his college days for his father, Dick Bennett, Wisconsin, Green Bay. It's kind of a natural to have these two as extensions of him.
No question. And anytime you have a former NBA point guard that's coaching you, who's played in the league, played at the highest level, if you're a player, regardless of what position, it makes sense to listen to what he has to say. If nothing else, you know he's been through it.
Tony was telling us some terrific stories from his Charlotte Hornet days today. Victor Davila wanted to rock that rim and got denied by Jerome Mienzi. Basketball stays with Virginia Tech.
Love the effort, love the energy, strong baseline move, goes up. If he had a left hand, if he could use his left hand right there, he would have had an easy deuce, but the ref didn't give him the call.
Delaney had that partially rejected by Sammy Zaglinski, who now wants to push. Pull-up 3, came up front rim. Had a real good look and triggered it. Delaney on the show and go. Look at the bodies banging on the offensive glass, and that is going to be a Jeff Allen player control foul. He threw an inadvertent bow at Jontel Evans.
And right now, Seth Greenberg is just beside himself because he thought that was a little extra on behalf of Allen. He's not angry at the official. He's angry at Allen because he thought he had the ball, just relaxed. He didn't need to throw it. He didn't need to throw it that time, but he tagged him a little bit there and he picked up a foul.
Yeah, let me correct that. It was Jeff Jones receiving the Jeff Allen inadvertent elbow. So that's number 3 on Jeff Allen.
That's why Seth was so upset. Right now, his best inside-outside guy has 3 fouls. He has to go to the bench. They don't really have a guy that can score inside, or at least has an inside presence. So that way it puts a lot more pressure on your perimeter game for your perimeter guys to now knock down shots.
No, Ron, even with that big 18-5 run, as you take a look at Jeff Allen, who has really started to get aggressive around the glass, his 7 rebounds lead Virginia Tech tonight. They haven't got to the free throw line yet tonight.
Exactly.
Seth Greenberg's ball club, 18-5 run. We're pushing it off their defense, but no trips to the stripe yet. Virginia's 7 of 11.
Well, the reason that is because they usually don't get a lot of action in their half-court sets. They score primarily out of transition, out of broken plays, sometimes out of free throw line situations. And when you're not executing in your half-court set, it's hard to pick up fouls in a grind-them-out situation, which often limits your time, your chances of getting to the free throw line. As you see right here, Allen's trapped in the corner, throws the elbow in an open court kind of an area. An official is going to be all over that one. He didn't really need to throw it yet. He wasn't in that much of a trouble, in that much difficulty. The ref tagged him with the foul. Seth Greenberg is still beside himself. He won't even look at him. He has his back turned to him right now on the court. He won't even look down at Allen because I think he'll go crazy if he does. Right now, I think the officials are possibly trying to determine, is that a flagrant foul?
Sure.
Should we eject him? What exactly we should do? I don't think it should be that flagrant a foul. It was just a strong turn. It was a little bit excessive.
All right, Carl Hess, Gary Maxwell, and Roger Ayers are going to call Tony Bennett and Seth Greenberg together to give them their ruling and interpretation.
I hope he's not thrown out.
I think he's been ejected.
I don't agree with that. I don't think he should be ejected. I just don't. You know, it was an aggressive play. He shouldn't have thrown the elbow. But is it worth getting ejected? I don't know.
Take one more look, Ron.
Trapped in the corner, makes a strong turn. See, that's a strong, aggressive turn. You teach that. He probably threw it a little more than he needed to, but to get thrown out on that, I think that's a tough one.
Well, let's mark it down with 13:41 left, and Virginia on top by 3, and now embellishing the lead. Seth Greenberg has lost his 6'7" junior out of Washington, D.C., Jeff Allen.
And right now, if you're Seth Greenberg, right now is a gut check, a heart check, a character check to see what your ball club is made of. Your best inside-outside guy, one of your leaders on the ball club, goes down. Let's see if this ball club can rally themselves together and do what they need to do to try to grab this win tonight.
All right, Jeff Jones hit a couple of free throws on the expulsion of Jeff Allen. Virginia with a basketball and on top by 5 and make it by 7. Sylvan Landisberg connecting. Flying to the other end, Terrell Bell, but didn't get it to fall. 9-0 Virginia run. This place is absolutely in pandemonium. Scott for 3. Got it!
Scott's hitting threes now. When you got it going, you got it going.
Listen to the bedlam at Charlottesville. A 12-0 run has ballooned the lead to 10. Mike Scott measures and buries a
3. You're watching Comcast Sportsnet, Washington's sports leader.
It's a 12-0 Virginia run, punctuated by the 3 a moment ago from Mike Scott, but you can also make a great case punctuated by the elbow that was thrown by Jeff Allen of Seth Greenberg's Hokies that earned him an ejection after the refereeing trio of Carl Hess, Gary Maxwell, and Roger Ayers looked. Our producer Chip Winfield, our director Jimmy Platt showed it to him about 3 times, Ron Thompson, and let's look again.
Right here, he got trapped in the corner, made a strong turn. Could not believe that he got thrown out, but on the other end, Virginia turns it around. They come down, Landisberg hits a shot, Scott hits a 3, the crowd's into it, and all of a sudden, it's a totally different ball game. There's been a total momentum shift in this ball game.
So there's your 12-0 run that I documented for you. And the lead is 10 again. We've had some big swings in this one, and that's going to be a push from Sammy Zaglinski as he was trying to chase Malcolm Delaney through a screen. That's 3 on Zaglinski. And that'll get to Mustafa Farrakhan. Of course, grandfather Louis Farrakhan and Ron today at Shoot Around. You and I noted the great resemblance.
No question.
And now on a dead ball foul, that is going to be Virginia getting hit with Jeff Jones on a grab. Delaney with a rainbow jumper, and he'll cash it out.
Delaney can score off the bounce. He can catch and shoot. He can shoot floaters. He can fade. And he has good size. He has good size, especially if he truly gets a great feel for the point guard position for the next level.
Remember last year's running mate, A.D. Vassallo?
Yes.
With Virginia Tech. Malcolm Delaney still averaged 18 a game. #1 in the ACC this year. Landisberg was bothered, couldn't finish. Sylvan got it back and drops the short jumper over Victor Davila.
When he shoots the ball, you just feel tonight like every shot's going in. He's in an incredible groove tonight.
And he's really ramped it up here in the second half. Landisberg has 16. Averages 17. Davila, that's with strength. He put his hard hat on and went right to the rack.
Love that move. Definitive, strong, aggressive. If he missed the shot, so what? It was a strong, powerful move towards the basket. Try to draw contact and get fouls.
You know one thing about Virginia Tech, Seth Greenberg's ball club is not going to go away Jeff Jones found the iron kind as he touched it up and got the roll. Hudson for three. He'll fill it up.
Hudson, the coaches were saying before the game that Hudson had been practicing well, had been shooting the ball well in practice the first half of the year, but the shots and he weren't falling and he wasn't playing that great. But then all of a sudden, the last 10 games or so, he's been on an absolute tear.
Lorenzo Hudson now with 15. Mustafa Farrakhan thought about it. Now Virginia's going to reset.
Layup.
Farrakhan, the triple.
Oh, he missed. I'm totally surprised. He's a very, very good open shooter. His feet were set. He has a nice stroke. He's one of those guys, don't get down, take the next one when you get it.
Two of the explosive scorers in the ACC, Sylvan Landisberg, while taking a seat in Lorenzo Hudson. He dropped 41 earlier in the year on Seton Hall, catching fire for Virginia Tech. The Who crew breaking it down and how in a very loud fashion here in Charlottesville. Speaking of in Charlottesville, Tony Bennett arrives his first year on the campus after 3 successful years in the Pac-10 at Washington State. Sylvan Landisberg realizes the teaching and the educating of this guy are all about the approach to the game.
You know, he always tries to teach us never to back down from any situation. And, you know, I'm proud of my teammates. I'm proud to be able to be coached by a man like that. And just being able to do the things we've been doing so far is great.
Sylvan Landisberg with an eye toward the teachings of Tony Bennett here in his first year on the campus in Charlottesville. And now off the Davila missed jump hook, Virginia can enhance their lead. So, Ron, you know, you hear Sylvan Landisberg, it's no surprise. Their offense has jumped up dramatically. Their defense has been much more stout this year. And Bennett has been the key factor as Jerome Miitzi will pound that down strong.
Well, Jerome should give Landisberg a hug because Landisberg hit it hard in the middle, drew the attention of two guys, and flicked it to him for an easy layup. When you have a big-time scorer, he gets other guys easy baskets on the floor.
J.T. Thompson is going to get to the free throw line.
And J.T. is going to play more of a pivotal role right now, especially now that Jeff Allen has gone out. He's going to have to pick up the load scoring. He's going to have to pick up the load on the defensive end and do what he does best. Get on the floor for loose balls, get the scrappy blue-collar kind of points.
Now here's a good look at J.T. Thompson, 6'6" junior out of Monroe, North Carolina. Had an excellent season a year ago. And this is the very first trip, Ron, we were talking about it earlier. It's the first trip to the free throw stripe for Virginia Tech tonight.
And don't think for 1 minute that Seth Greenberg hasn't been in the ear of the officials saying, come on, guys, we're getting fouled too. As you see, they go with a little full-court press here to try to make things a little ragged. And Virginia breaks it with these. Now they have to get a good shot.
Jeff Jones, I think he shot that from Richmond. And now off the basketball and around the rim. As the basketball was loose, Will Sherrill will get hit for the Virginia foul. And Tony Bennett now is questioning.
Let's take a look at this one again. Sherrill goes up strong. Whoa. Don't know about that one. Still looking for the foul. I think we're going to give Malcolm a huge Academy Award this game because he's baited the officials into 2 calls.
Well, now Seth Greenberg, Tony Bennett now with a slight smile, but kind of a quizzical look after that whistle. So here is Virginia Tech now at the free throw line in the 1 and bonus with 9:41 left of the basketball game. The Hokies only have 3 team fouls on them.
Well, this is a good way for Virginia Tech to start to feel better about themselves. They're shooting on the year 68% from the floor. So now, if they're strong with the ball, get some action going towards the basket, get some fouls, is an easy way to put points on the board without the clock moving.
Malcolm Delaney with a couple of free throw hits. A lot of pressure. Eric Green's got a steal. Basketball off the top of the glass. And Virginia Tech's got it. Malcolm Delaney with a deep 3. Wow, what a sequence there. Jeff Jones will attack the rim, and he's going to go to the free throw line.
Right there, Lorenzo Hudson went flying over behind their basket, their bench, going for that loose ball, and he comes up a little gimpy. They can ill afford for him to be hurt tonight. He's got to shake this off. Have to love this hustle right here. Loose ball, Lorenzo Hudson goes flying over their bench, gets hit real hard. Hope he can recover from that one.
Just joining us, Virginia Tech saw Jeff Allen, their outstanding 6'7" junior, ejected at the 13:41 mark. Look out as Lorenzo Hudson. I mean, aren't the fellas on that Hokie bench supposed to help their brother?
They let him fly, didn't they?
They let him fly is right. Now Jeff Jones at the free throw stripe with a couple of hits from the line for the Hoos. Virginia up by 7 on the night point-wise for Jeff Jones off Tony Bennett's bench. Averages that 7 a game. Outstanding is the atmosphere inside John Paul Jones Arena in Charlottesville. Alongside Ron Thompson and all of our Comcast Sportsnet crew, I'm Michael Regai. As that 3 was missed by Eric Green. As we're inside the 9-minute mark. We told you this would be a phenomenal night of ACC hoops for you, and it is just that. Remember, a Virginia win will push them to 4-1 and tie them up with idle Maryland atop the ACC. Zaglinski has not had a field goal make tonight. Mienzi would have counted had it gone. He drew contact from Victor Davila, and he'll go to the free throw line for the Hoos of Virginia.
See, that shot that Mienzi took was a lot different than if he'd taken that early in the clock. The clock was winding down. There was 7 seconds left. They threw it to him on the post. He threw it back out. He reposted. Then he went hard to the middle. He shoots free throws well, so it was a good, aggressive move, and it was a good move because the clock was winding down.
Here is Jerome Mienzi, the junior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'd imagine the state of Louisiana is a little bit ready to go with their New Orleans Saints playing for an NFL championship. As we take a look at the top of the ACC, as we showed you at the top of the show, Gary Williams with his Terrapins of Maryland behind Gravis Vasquez. Off to a fabulous start, winning 4 of the first 5, and Virginia trying to follow suit tonight. Jerome Mienzi, really hearing about it from this John Paul Jones throng. He's been terrific tonight, Ron.
And he's been good in part because he's brought his hard hat. 7 points, 4 rebounds, and he's working the boards, giving them that physical presence that they need.
The lead is 9. J.T. Thompson got the easy deuce off the terrific look from Lorenzo Hudson.
Excellent half-court set that time. They ran their set. They set their screens, hit the open man, easy layup.
I think you're right on the money, partner, too. If Virginia Tech is going to get over the top and come away with what would be a tremendous road win, Lorenzo Hudson, J.T. Thompson, going to have to provide a spark with Malcolm Delaney. Will Sherrill's got an offensive board off Mike Scott-Smith. Travel, and Virginia turns it over. Everybody exhale. Take a deep breath. We're inside the 8-minute mark. Don't go anywhere. The Commonwealth's up for grabs. Virginia by 7. Proud tradition of Virginia basketball. One of the very best from the early 90s, Corey Alexander, now part of the Virginia Radio Network. I think of all that, Barry Parkhill, Wally Walker, Jeff Lamb, Bryant Stith, Sean Singletary, Ronnie, some offensive talent par excellence in this program down through the years.
And that guy right there could flat out get it done. At the point guard position, he understood how to set the table. Yep. He understood when the play was on him. He understood the necessity to be a solid, strong defender. That's why he played so many years in the NBA.
Did Pop ever take you across the street into University Hall?
Never.
See, never?
Never.
Like I said, driving up today, it's for shoot-around chills when I look at University Hall. Thinking of Terry Holland and Ralph Sampson in that bunch. Crowd wanted a travel. That's Malcolm Delaney to raise. And running it down and saving is Sammy Zaglinski for the Hoos of Virginia as we approach the 7-minute mark. Virginia by 7 and with it. Hope you're enjoying it tonight here on Comcast Sportsnet. No, we are.
We certainly are. But now, right now, if you're UVA, you want to be patient. You have a lead. Execute your half-court offense. Get good looks into position. As Landisburg gets stripped right there. Transition the other end is Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Dorenzo Hudson's going to go to the free throw line. Is a smart foul from Virginia. As that foul is going to go on Will Sherrill as he denied Dorenzo Hudson.
You see Landisburg makes a strong move to the middle, doesn't get the foul, transition. Virginia Tech, that's their specialty. That last possession, as you see, Hudson goes up strong, draws the foul, has a chance to knock down these 2 free throws. But that last possession by UVA was not a bad one. They were patient in the half-court offense. They got the ball to their best player on the block. He didn't take a fadeaway. He made an aggressive move to the basket, but couldn't finish. I want to see that guy sweat. I want to see Tony Bennett just sweat just one time.
No, he
always looks calm, cool, and collected.
They're calling him GQ Tony around Charlottesville already. Always poised. You know what? And we get an opportunity. We got to discuss. There was a terrific piece in the Washington Post today,
right,
about the differences in styles with Seth Greenberg and Tony Bennett. We'll amplify that a little bit as Sylvan Landisburg just got hit with a player control foul, offensive foul. Malcolm Delaney took the hit, his third on Landisburg.
Well, these last 2 possessions have been great possessions for Virginia Tech, especially on the defensive end. They're tightening things up. They're drawing fouls. They're getting steals. Malcolm Delaney, I'm telling you, he's going to get an Academy Award before the night's over. I'm going to cut one and make one right here and just give it to him.
The Grammys are coming up Sunday. You're going to go with the Academy Awards, not theater style. Davila put it on the deck. Will Sherrill has had his hand on another loose basketball. Mike Scott on the glide and didn't finish.
That was a late call there.
We got a whistle underneath the rack that's going to go on Dorenzo Hudson.
Called a block on Dorenzo Hudson, but that was a late call. Watch this. Blowout here by UVA. He slides over. That's the foul. There's the whistle. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to register with the officials.
Mike Scott, game high 19, making 20 now for the very smooth junior out of Chesapeake, Virginia.
And Mike has to get back to doing the things he was doing in the first half. This half, he settled for jump shots. He hit that 1-3, and the last 2 shots he's taken have been face-up jump shots. Get some action going to the basket so you can get to the free throw line a little bit more, because he's been unstoppable.
Scott with 21, couple of free throw hits. The lead is 8. Hang on now. Virginia Tech, their last few years under Seth Greenberg, they know all about playing him tight down the stretch. Matter of fact, that was a point of emphasis. That's going to be foul number 4 on Will Sherrill. Well, Sherrill absolutely gets after it on the defensive end. Got hit with his 4th there.
See, if you're UVA, you're not upset at Sherrill committing fouls. He's a walk-on. He's somewhat expendable. They want him to go out there, use all of his fouls, play hard, play aggressive. You see, he hedges strong here on the pick and roll, slaps down a little bit slightly too aggressively right there on Malcolm Delaney.
He's filling the stat line, 4 rebounds, a steal, and has picked up those 4 fouls as well.
But he's a great guy, a great addition. A lot of guys in college could use someone like him, a 6'9" big guy that can pick and pop, can hit an open shot, that doesn't mind being physical and using all of his fouls.
Malcolm Delaney with a couple of free throw makes now. Malcolm Delaney, the leading scorer in the ACC at 19.5 a game, headed into play tonight. He's got 16. And this lead is back to 6. 2-possession game. Baseline strong. Sylvan Landisburg to deliver.
That time Virginia Tech switched it up, went 1-3-1 just for a different look. Virginia attacked it, got it to Landisburg, and let him go to work on the baseline.
Dorenzo Hudson stepped down the baseline. Turnover. Virginia Tech. Jerome Mienzi with another move to speed. Excellent positioning defensively.
He's done a lot of little things tonight that will not show up in the stat sheet. But when Tony Bennett goes back and watches the film, he'll be more than happy.
That's the 13th turnover on that Dorenzo Hudson step on the baseline a moment ago. So we're going to approach the 5-minute mark now on this Virginia trip as Sammy Zaglinski looks at Tony. See Bennett top of your screen with that thumbs up call for Virginia. using some clock are the Who's. Shot clock at 3. Landisberg delivered a terrific dime that Jerome Mienzi converts.
Right now, UVA, they're just dissecting Virginia Tech in their half-court offense. Early on, I thought one of the keys for them was to be able to execute and have half-court efficiency. Excellent possession, that last possession by UVA.
And Malcolm Delaney quickly on the float and got that to fall. Seth Greenberg now starting to try to elongate the game a little bit with his ball club down 8. How about Landisberg's look?
Good look inside, strong finish by the big fella. Right now, if you're Virginia Tech, Seth's saying, look, fellas, let's settle down. When we get the ball in our half court, let's try to make a few passes. We don't have to rush. Conversely, UVA saying, fellas, we're doing an excellent job. Each possession, let's make sure we get a good shot. We don't have to jack up a quick shot. If we have an easy break, let's take it. But if not, let's try to burn some clock. The clock is in our favor now. Let's execute, make them foul us, and get to the free throw line.
You know, Ron and I were mentioning today, we had fun at shoot-around with both coaches. Seth Greenberg depicted as demonstrative, on edge, a guy with great intensity, always working the efficient. Tony Bennett, calm, composed, poised, Mr. GQ here in Charlottesville. You can win with both styles, can't you, Coach Thompson?
No question, but let me tell you, don't let Tony Bennett's illusion of being calm, don't take that. He is not a calm guy. I've seen him on the sides occasionally get a little fired up, a little amped. You can't be at this level and this quality of a coach and not have a pulse. There's more than one way of skinning cat,
yeah.
But the cat has to get skinned sometime, and both of these guys do it in their own way.
I like it, Ron. I like it. And Jeff Jones at the free throw line. And with a wry smile today at shoot-around, Seth Greenberg said, hey, you know what? You put the black hat on me, make me the bad guy? He said, my mother always told me, he said, don't worry about sharpening the pencils. That's a Greenberg family philosophy. It means don't worry about the menial task.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
There you go. There you go. Loved our visit with Seth Greenberg and
great.
Tony Bennett today.
They were great.
This is Malcolm Delaney. Nope, wouldn't drop for him. Loose on the deck right here in front of our telecast site. The basketball belongs to the Cavaliers of Virginia.
You mean to tell me that you don't think this game is important to these two teams? Bodies are flying all over the court on both sides of the ball. They're laying it out on the floor tonight. Look at him. Let's see him sweat. Do you think he's going to sweat just one time?
Maybe he makes his associate head coach, Richie McKay, terrific guy who coached Liberty for the last couple of years.
He'll have Richie do all the sweating.
Maybe, yeah, Richie's got to do all the sweating for Tony Bennett.
But see, it's something about Coach's sons. They're a little bit more calm, a little bit more cool, a little bit more collected.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Touche, Ron Thompson. We're inside the 4-minute mark. We're having a lot of fun with you on this night of ACC Hoops. Jones to the step back. Got it. That's instant offense off Tony Bennett's bench.
Yes, sir.
He's got 9. Jeff Jones. Virginia Tech needs a solid run of their offense here. Down 10 again. Malcolm Delaney. Stolen away from Davila. Jones, the triple. This place would have erupted had he filled that up. Dorenzo Hudson. Get out of here, said Jerome Mienzi. SWAT time for Mienzi.
These guys are going at it on both ends.
Once again, John Paul Jones Arena, absolutely off the charts. Virginia by 10. Forward. You haven't loved this tonight. If you look at the jerseys of Ralph Sampson, Jeff Lamb. We have a pulse with our producer Chip Winfield. Our crew, Ron Thompson's here. I'm Michael Rega. Delaney here too, always is. The young fella from Baltimore is going to the free throw line with his ball club down 10. And Ron, Virginia Tech was up 32-27 early in the second half. sets that time. Virginia's on a 17-3 run, and in that time includes the Jeff Allen ejection for the elbow.
Well, where that becomes valuable now, or so important, is that they don't have another capable inside scorer. Jeff was one of those guys that you could give him the ball on the post or in the mid-post, and he could come up with something. You lose that now. You lose a guy that gets you 12 points and 8 rebounds.
Well, how about Lorenzo Hudson in terms of Virginia Tech trying to get themselves back into it down the stretch? Excellent strip away there. Last touch, Virginia.
Well, they've gone to full-court pressure defense. They're gambling. They're being aggressive. And Hudson's one of those guys that puts money in the bank. He gets rebounds. He gets steals as well as score the basketball.
Davila just couldn't connect on the jump hook. Last touch, Mienzi keep it with Virginia Tech.
Exactly. Solid defense. He kept himself between Davila and the basket, just stayed big and made him try to shoot over.
Lorenzo Hudson to trigger. Malcolm Delaney with a step baseline. Isn't that gorgeous? Delaney with a blow-by and delivered at the rim.
He's a flat-out scorer. The last possession out of the timeout, they went to Delaney on the block. Right there, he went off the bounce, got to the basket. As you see, rocks him on the baseline, drives hard, up and under, scores the deuce. He can just score. They ran a set for him out of the last time out on the post. They tried to post him. This time they isolate him on the wing and they tell him just to go. Sometimes your best offense is give it to your best player and get out of his way and let him do what he does best.
Ron, the explosion, though, going baseline. Not a lot of room to operate.
Nope, not a lot of room. Had just a crack, but he knows it's his time of game. Right now, the score is 62-56 in favor of UVA. If Virginia Tech is going to get back in this game, it's going to fall on Malcolm Delaney's shoulders as well as Lorenzo Hudson.
Malcolm Delaney with the last 8 Virginia Tech points. He's got 22 on the night. Marty Aronoff keeping us right up to speed with the leading point producer in the ACC, Malcolm Delaney. A lot of pressure. Zaglinski just beat that 5-second count. Mustafa Farrakhan along with Mike Scott, Jeff Jones. Small for Tony Bennett. Not a good decision. Landisberg got in trouble there. Hudson will attack the goal. The stick back from Davila wouldn't go down. Thompson to finish. J.T. Thompson doing the intangibles. That time, I didn't think that Davila should have tried to dunk the ball. Just tip it in. Get the 2 points. You don't need to be spectacular. But they were able to convert anyway. Right now, you're going to see the young backcourt of UVA get tested. Landisberg's a sophomore. Zaglinski, he's a sophomore. Let's see how they close out this game. We're inside the 2-minute mark. Buckle up. We told you, one of those fantastic ACC finishes. Shot clock at 10 for the Who's. No look to Mike Scott. Couldn't cash it out. Virginia Tech can cut it to 2, maybe down to 1. Hudson for 3. Bang! Layup. He got it. Like I said, it's going to come down to Delaney or Hudson. His feet were set. They didn't close out quick enough. He knocked it down. Coaches were telling us earlier that this guy had been shooting the ball excellently in practice. It just hadn't translated to the games. But the last 10 games, he's been on an absolute tear. 9-0 run. Look at Lorenzo Hudson. He measured this, Ronnie. Layup. Let's go back. We're in for a good one tonight, guys. What a the runs have been just phenomenal in this one tonight. We had Virginia on an 18-5, and then Virginia Tech came back on a 17-2. Second half, Virginia Tech had the big lead. Virginia caught them with a 9-0. And now Seth Greenberg's ball club. Hey, tune in tonight for Geico Sports Night at 10 o'clock here on Comcast Sportsnet. Sports Night's on campus here at Charlottesville. They'll have complete post-game coverage with Brent Harris. Hokies and Cavaliers. Brent will be in the locker room and get reaction from both squads. Sports Night tonight at 10 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Right now, the walkthrough we were at earlier, the scouting report. Will guys listen to the coaches? Do they understand each team's offensive sets? Do they understand each team's defensive schemes? Also, right now, it's going to be very important to hit your free throws. Hit your free throws. Jeff Jones can't triple. Had a good look at it. Malcolm Delaney and Virginia Tech can take the lead on this trip. 60 seconds left. And Seth Greenberg wants a timeout. Well, look at the veteran bench boss, Seth Greenberg, with a smile for his club as they have just erased a 10-point deficit with a 9-0 run and got it down with an opportunity to take the lead.
Right now, that was an excellent timeout, I thought, by Seth, because they had the ball. They want to get a good shot. He didn't want to leave anything for chance. He's going to draw something up, and believe you me, you know it's going to be Malcolm Delaney as the first option with Lorenzo Hudson probably as the second option. But UVA has to do an excellent job. That Virginia Tech is a scrappy blue-collar team. When that shot goes up, those 50-50 balls we were talking about in the first half, you have to make sure if you're UVA that you don't let Virginia Tech get those 50-50 balls.
Malcolm Delaney, for the last couple of weeks, has felt like he's probably in a vice with all of his body parts. He took another shot here off the Jeff Jones missed three.
He's been getting banged up all year, but that happens. When you're the best player on the other team, the hit man is after you every single night. And if you're Virginia, you tell him. If you get a chance to touch Delaney, go ahead and touch him. Let him know you're here. He just has to weather the storm. He's a tough Baltimore kid. He's not phased. He will close this game out in a strong fashion.
We reset it for you at the timeout side of things. Virginia has a full and a couple of 20s. Virginia Tech is out of them. And no fouls to give for either ball club. Ron, do you think that Tony Bennett's ball club, Virginia, since they had a 10-point lead, a little bit passive on the offensive end the last 3-4 possessions?
Well, I don't think they were passive. What I think's been happening lately, the wrong guys have been getting shots. Landisburg hasn't gotten good looks. Jones has jacked up some shots that right now coming down the stretch, you want Zaglinski and you want Landisburg to take the shot.
This crowd has absolutely raised the decibel level to dizzying heights here.
Virginia opens up in the zone. A little 1-2-2 chess match has begun.
J.T. Thompson for the lead. He went glass. Virginia Tech on top.
He's their Mr. Intangible. You can't put him in a box. He just gets it done.
First lead sets 32-30 for Virginia Tech. Now there's a 3-second game clock, shot clock differential. Double team on Landisburg, and Tony Bennett's got to get a timeout.
That time after the made basket right there by JT, UVA tried to push the ball without calling timeout so that Virginia Tech couldn't set up their defense, but he got trapped over there in the corner and he had to. Right now, your sideline out of bounds offensive sets have to be intact. You have to execute. You have to know what it is you want to do. If you're Virginia Tech, now you're talking about defensively. In walkthrough today, both teams walked over each team's favorite baseline and sideline out of bounds plays. Now it comes down to execution. Right now, if they can't score Virginia out of their sideline out of bounds play, they're going to get it back up top and find a way to get the ball to Landisburg, I think, and let him go to work, especially as good as he is in his mid-range game.
10 points, 6 boards for J.T. Thompson off the bench. Let's go back to the Sylvan Landisburg turnover on this Virginia possession. This is where the run started for Vatek.
Exactly. When Landisburg gets that close, he's got to try to score. Don't try to set anyone up. But J.T. Thompson is doing what he does best, getting on the boards. Then right here, you see Lorenzo Hudson just lined up on the end, feet were set, knocked it down.
Remember, this was a 62-52 Virginia lead. With 2 minutes and about 55 seconds to go in the last 2:35. Seth Greenberg's club on an 11-zip burst that you just saw punctuated by J.T. Thompson's hoop.
Right now, if you're Virginia, you want to get your first good look. You don't want to hold it and try to take the last shot because you're down one. When you're down, you want to go a little quicker in the clock.
Landisburg off the spin. Landisburg forced that up in traffic, and the basketball belongs to Virginia Tech.
He tried to bait the official for the foul. He didn't go for it. You had the ball in your best player's hands, which is a good move. Good, solid defense right there by Virginia Tech. Probably a foul probably could have been called, but it wasn't. Virginia Tech ball. Now, Virginia hasn't pressed all game. Now they pick up full because they know they have to gamble. They have to be aggressive and try to come up with a loose ball here.
Tony Bennett's ball club without a point in the last 3.5 minutes. Seth Greenberg's club 11-0 run. Hudson got a foul. Delaney which they finally did. This crowd was letting Jontel Evans know you got to follow him and send him to the line. And remember now, even with a couple of Malcolm Delaney makes, this is still a one-possession game.
Especially because you have the three-point line that can work in your favor. But right now, it's a game of inches. You have to hit your free throws. Right now, after you hit your free throws, do you pick up full court to apply soft pressure, or do you sprint back and pick up at half court? 83% from the line. Virginia Tech's go-to guy who delivered.
100% tonight. 7 of 7 from the stripe. He's been perfect.
See, it's very easy to play at times when night in and night out, they're not gunning for you defensively. But when you're at Malcolm Delaney every single night, the hit man is looking for you. And it's harder to produce, but good players find a way. And he's one of those special ball players.
And again, last year he averaged 18 a game when A.D. Masao was the force offensively. He and Delaney together. And now this year, Ron says he's going to have that X on his back and be at top of the scouting report for every ball club that plays Virginia.
Exactly. He's got 23 points tonight, but when you spend your summers working out with a Carmelo Anthony, when you spend your summers working out with those guys that have played in the NBA, the Dante Greens, which he does every summer, this is nothing. This is nothing. You prepare then for now.
I love that analogy. Malcolm Delaney has been superb. The young man that sits atop the ACC in point producing. Hit a couple.
Baltimore's rocking. Let's see now if Virginia Tech can get a solid stop here.
3-point game. Landisberg gave it up. Zaglitsky, 3 in the tie. Wow! He buried it with 1.3 left. Sammy Zaglitsky, and we're going overtime. It's Charlottesville.
Buckle up, fellas. We're not going anywhere. A little overtime action. He shot that going to his left with confidence. He is leading the ACC right now in three-point field goal percentage. He's been off tonight. He hadn't had a great night tonight. Stuck with it. Nailed it. Wow.
Sammy Zaglitsky, the pride of Philadelphia, PA. Right on time if you're a Wahoo fan of Virginia from about 28 feet. Nothing but cord, Ron Thompson.
Watch this shot. Step back. Nothing but net. Oh, tough shot. Going to his left, step back, push off. Good solid defense by Virginia Tech, but that's just a better shot. And a message to young kids out here. He struggled all game, especially from the three-point line. Didn't shoot it great tonight from the three-point line, but he kept his head up. He knows that's what he can do, and he nailed it. But now this game has been a total emotional roller coaster. It's been a series of runs. UVA got on a run. Virginia Tech went on a run. Now it's overtime. Now you have to get geared back up and play another solid 5 minutes of basketball.
Kudos to everybody in the tape room and all the guys that met the lens tonight. You had a lot of terrific looks at it. 40 minutes of basketball, not enough. Overtime next.
Sit on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Will he be the toast of Charlottesville tonight? Sammy Zaglitsky, monster knockdown 3 with 1.3 left to send us to overtime. Hang on now, buckle up with Ron Thompson, our producer Chip Whitfield, director Jimmy Platt, and all of our Comcast Sportsnet ACC crew. I'm Michael Regai. Virginia Tech finished with a flurry, but they got stunned by Sammy Zaglitsky. Now, how do the Hokies respond in overtime? This is Malcolm Delaney to raise up and ring it.
Well, that's your answer. Give it to Malcolm and get out of his way.
26 markers on the night for the ACC's top point producer. Well, the first salvo authored by Virginia Tech in overtime. Landisberg got stripped on the way up.
You're watching two very, very solid defensive ball clubs tonight. They're getting it done on the defensive end.
With the Commonwealth rivalry continuing tonight. Again, Delaney, that would have counted had it gone. He got some contact, and he'll go to the free throw line.
But if you watch how he scored tonight, he scored in transition. He scored shooting threes. Now they're running sets for him to catch the ball in the post. that is the sign of a guy that just knows how to play. He's not one-dimensional offensively.
That's why we were asking the Virginia Tech staff today if they look for more creative ways to, and they downplayed it.
Right.
They really not really. They told us no to get Malcolm Delaney the basketball. But I tell you, Ron, I'm with you. I love the various spots on the floor he's caught at on the floor of their offense.
If you're trying to guard him, you don't know where to find him. If you're a guard, you can't just look out around the three-point line because he'll shoot threes, but he'll go to the block or he'll drive around you.
Well, Delaney will connect on 1 of 2 for the stripe. Landisberg got bumped by. Was it Malcolm Delaney? It was. And Landisberg's going to the free throw line. So Sylvan Landisberg, rough down the stretch tonight for Landisberg, looking to get his own shot. And now with an opportunity to bring Virginia back to within 1 on this 1-and-1. Won't do it.
He struggled at least the last 4 minutes of this game, and you have to give a lot of credit to Virginia Tech. They've given him no easy looks. When he's driven to the basket, they put a body on him and made his shot attempts very difficult.
Well, Virginia Tech up by 3 and with the basketball as we're 1 minute and 40 seconds into overtime right now. Dorenzo Hudson, nope.
Mr. Intangible almost had that one.
J.T. Thompson had an offensive board. Delaney got crushed by Jerome Mienci. Another shot rejection for Mienci.
But see, Delaney came up with the ball, but he was able to come up with the ball because of the effort of J.T. Thompson. Thus, Virginia Tech is able to get another possession here on the offensive end.
And Malcolm Delaney looking for that screen from Terrell Bell, who's on the floor. We come inside 3 minutes in overtime. Thompson went glass with a jump hook that's right there.
J.T. Thompson has come up huge since Allen went out there early in the second half. He's played a monster game today.
J.T. Thompson with a dozen, and Tony Bennett's got to get a Virginia Cavalier timeout. Seth Greenberg's ball club was down by 10 with under 3 minutes left in regulation. They storm back, and J.T. Thompson's been huge off the Hokie bench.
Now visit AmericansForTheArts.org.
Virginia Tech by 5 during the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds of overtime. All right, let's take a look at our Toyota play of the night. Gotta be Sammy Zaglinski. Ron?
Fade away, going to your left, game's on the line, nothing but the bottom of the net. Big time 3. That was his first field goal for the game, his first 3 for the game, and he nailed it.
Yeah, with Sammy Zaglinski, though, and Virginia have to think about now, they were up 10, 62-52, right, as we told you, with about 2:55 left. The only points that they put in the book in the 6 minutes we played since that time was Sammy Zaglinski's 3. As Marty Aronoff's all over that, as Zaglinski's got us to this point.
And you have to give the credit for that to Virginia Tech's defense. They've done an awesome job here in overtime.
Yeah, they really have. Now, Virginia's gotten away from Mike Scott a lot, too. Not a lot of touches for him, Ron.
Exactly, but Mike's got to work hard to receive the ball in the post. He's not demanding the ball there in the post.
Sammy Zaglinski says, give me 3 more of these.
Sammy's picking up where he left off in regulation. But that's what you call focus. He didn't get down because he missed some shots. He stayed in the game, worked on the defensive end until his jump shot came around.
Oh, the young fella for Philly's dialed in. 3 just before the buzzer to force overtime, and now a monster 3 again. J.T. Thompson will attack the hoop with strength.
J.T. has been on an absolute tear as of late, and he does it with all the little things. It's not pretty. It doesn't look conventional, but he finds a way to get it done. He's an undersized, inside-outside post guy that just gives you energy.
He's 6 for 9. He's got 14 tonight, does J.T. Thompson. The lead is 4 again as we approach 90 seconds left. Tony Bennett's got Will Sherrill back on the floor. Zaglinski being checked by Hudson to raise up. A little bit too firm off the back heel. Virginia Tech will come to the offensive end. Up by 4, 2-possession game. Still 20 on the shot clock. Virginia's got to get a stop.
Exactly.
We come inside, 60 seconds left in OT. Delaney. Shot clock at 5 for Malcolm Delaney. Got to force. Zielinski trying to board and save, and he did it. Virginia in a hurry.
Right now, for Virginia Tech.
Stolen away, J.T. Thompson. Sherrill put a hand on him out on the floor, and that foul is called. No continuation as Thompson went strong to the hoop, but the foul's on the floor. That'll send J.T. Thompson to the line.
Malcolm Delaney is their leading scorer right now, but there's an MVP. I'm hard-pressed not to give it to J.T. Thompson because he's closed out this game in a huge way. If you're looking at J.T. Thompson and you're saying that his game is similar in a bit to Dorenzo Hudson, even though Dorenzo plays on the perimeter, Dorenzo's a blue-collar perimeter guy, JT's a blue-collar post guy. They're first cousins, and they're absolutely inseparable, their staff was telling me. They live together, they drive the same car, they sleep in the same apartment, they know what each other's thinking, and their games are very similar, except one's on the perimeter, one's in the post.
Nonverbal communication works well with J.T. Thompson, Dorenzo Hudson.
In this arena, with all this noise, as these crazy fans have been, you definitely need it.
Yeah. Virginia Tech has got a chance to make this a 6-point lead and a opportunity to go back on the defensive end. And the defensive end has been superb for Virginia Tech, as Ron and I have been talking about. J.T. Thompson now 15, looking for 16, and he is 4 for 4 from the free throw stripe. And now it's a 6-point lead for the Hokies of Virginia Tech, and their fans don't even want to watch.
Asking for a little divine intervention.
Sylvan Landisberg gave it up. Got to trigger it if you're Virginia. Landisberg got to the rack. It rolled out. It rolled out, and that may just about do it tonight here in Charlottesville with the Virginia foul to send the Hokies of Virginia Tech to the line, and this sellout throng inside John Paul Jones Arena is starting to head to the exits. Commonwealth's been ablaze all night long, Ron.
No doubt about it. This game today was an absolute dogfight.
Terrell Bell will look to split the pair. Young man from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Got to get one of these. Push that 6-point lead to 7.
3-possession game right now with only 20 seconds left. Virginia led it by 10 with 2:55. Zielinski cannot connect on the 3. Jones the triple. Yep, he'll stick it with only 8.5 left.
Never say never with that 3-point line. Right now, if you're Virginia, you're going to pick up quickly. They're going to be overly aggressive defensively, try and go for the steal. If the officials call it, so what? If not, you have a chance to come up with the steal. Right now, you see why that last free throw was important for Virginia Tech, because if they hadn't, it would just be a 1-possession game. Seth Greenberg right now is imploring his guys to stay focused. The game is not over. Be strong with the ball. When you inbound it, be sure. If not, use a timeout, but nothing risky right now.
We're in overtime with Virginia Tech on top of Virginia, 75-71. They were down 10 with 2:55 left in it regulation time and stormed back. Used an 11-0 run to take the lead. Got tied by Sammy Zielinski's huge 3 with 1.3 left for Virginia. And now J.T. Thompson will get fouled by Mike Scott with 7.2 left in overtime. J.T. Thompson, not one of his best assets at the free throw line.
I like the way you put that. But he's been Mr. Clutch tonight.
He has. Always trying to be kind. He struggles at 46%. You wouldn't know it tonight.
Mr. Clutch.
You wouldn't know it tonight.
It's not matter how many you make. It's not matter what you make. It's when you make it.
17 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of 6 from the line. A lot of contact with 2 seconds left. Jeff Jones, the triple. It didn't drop, and you can book this one to Seth Greenberg and his Hokies of Virginia Tech in overtime. They beat Virginia 76-71. As Virginia Tech backs up their win over BC with an overtime win. We'll be right back to hear from Seth Greenberg. That's next. Don't go away.